Sorry guys, my phone decided it wanted to cut the video off. I left off where it says the New Testament tells us that the anonymous Psalms 2 and 95 were also written by David. And when I went through the list, it sounded like I said 118 through 145. It's actually 138 to 145. In addition to these, 12 are by Asaph, a priest who headed the service of music. 10 are by the sons of Korah, a guild of singers, actually a family, and composers. 2 are by Solomon, Israel's most powerful king. 1 is by Moses, 1 by Heman, a wise man, and 1 by Ethan, another wise man. The remaining 50 psalms are anonymous, but tradition attributes them to Ezra. It's possible. The time, circa 1410 to 430 BC. It says its key verse is Psalms 19:14. The theme is a collection of songs that literally covers hundreds of years of Jewish history, from the patriarchs down through the post-exilic period. The book of Psalms is practical and personal, as well as scenic and magnificently beautiful. The Psalms teach us how to pray, how to grieve, how to rejoice, and how to worship. Any Christian who makes building a relationship with God a priority in his or her life will find great spiritual nourishment in the Psalms. It is the prayer book for all who believe in the God of the universe. Jesus used it as such, and so should we. Now, going through, I might go through just a couple of Psalms, because they're short. This is from Book 1, Psalms 1 through 141 is a header. This is Psalms 1, or Psalm 1, Song 1. Blessings on the godly. Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whosoever he does, or whatsoever he does, shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. And that is actually true. It's good advice for us in our day-to-day walk to meditate, even if it's a simple verse in the Bible that you have read. Think on it. Think on it, think on it, think on it. Psalm 2. Oh, I love this. God's Son will reign. And through all of the readings that we do, also keep in mind, Jesus is throughout it. So look for areas that, and think and hear where Jesus is prophesied. Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sits in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Oh boy, you don't want that. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree of the Lord, hath said to me, thou art my son, you are my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Oh, such a wonderful thing. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. And of course, I put the these and the thous in it. Now, crazy thought that I had. The Israelites, and I go back to where Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And all the families from there. They are a special possession of God. Always have been, always will be, since he chose them. And this all happened before the earth was even formed. So understand that. I always thought Jesus goes to the Father and says, okay, these people are your special possession, I'll take the rest. And that's what this says. Ask of me, and I shall give you the heathen for your inheritance. That's the Goyim. That's anybody that is not an Israelite. And the uttermost parts of the earth for your possession. Again, Israel, the biblical lands of Israel, God said, this is going to go to the nation, the children of Israel. It's an eternal giving. It's an eternal possession. But he says, the rest of the earth is yours, to Jesus. He shall rule with the rod of iron, very strong. Dash him in pieces like a potter's vessel. That I look at to people who are not living or not even seeing that God is God, and going every other which way. And here now is the words for us, especially. Be wise there now, therefore, O ye kings, leaders, priests, preachers, evangelists, and everybody in between. But it's talking about those in leadership who lead and cause others to fall or not. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear. That fear is an awesome respect. It is rejoice with trembling. Again, that is just rejoice. Be absolutely magnificently thrilled and desiring to learn about God and Jesus. And kiss the Son. This is get close to Jesus. Listen to him. Follow his ways. Lest he be angry and you perish from the way. He rules. He was given authority to rule. When his wrath is kindled but a little. So you can end up with judgments against you. So learn about God and Jesus and love them, respect them. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. And that is so true. We're going to have troubles, tribulations, and everything in life, like as we saw in Job. But we know in the end, we're in kindergarten. When we graduate, we go to heaven. So, in kindergarten, you have to learn to share, get along with each other, simple rules. When we graduate, we're in heaven, and there are no tears, no hurts, no pains, no sorrows. We have all that here on this corrupted earth. From Adam and Eve and their sin, for Adam's sake, God cursed the land. So this land is corrupted. There is going to be terrible things happening. And people, since we've got a sin nature, we are not going to get along with each other all the time. It can be a serious effort.
And so we took her on the cruise. The mom was out.
So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Kiss the Son lest he be angry, and you perish from the way. When his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. That's Psalm 2, verse 12. Definitely worthwhile. Now let's go to the proverb of today, which, since today is the 19th, we do Proverb 19. It has 29 verses. It says, walk in integrity. I guess I should do the intro for it as well, since it is the first time. But we will be going back to Proverb 19. The authorship, Solomon's name appears at the beginning of the 3 sections that he wrote. 1 through 9, 10:1 through 22:16, and 25 through 29. Only about 800 of the more than 3,000 proverbs attributed to Solomon are recorded here. It is likely that Solomon collected and edited proverbs other than his own.
think about
I'm not
where
sure
we
about
are,
that.
what's
The
happening.
collection of Solomonic Proverbs in chapters 25 through 29 were assembled by the scribes of the king Hezekiah. Some of the sayings in the Proverbs are quite similar to those found in the wisdom of, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Amenemop, a document of teaching on civil service by an Egyptian who probably lived between 1000 BC and 600 BC. Not sure about that. Although maybe the wisdom of this other book, I don't know about that. I believe since God gave wisdom to Solomon in an overabundance, because that's what Solomon asked for so he could lead the people right, I believe that's where the wisdom came from. Though yes, God can give wisdom to anybody that asks. The time frame is circa 950 through 700 BC. It says the key verse is Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Theme: the Proverbs are part of what is commonly called the wisdom literature of the Bible. Each society needs a way to pass on what it understands to be the best way to live to succeeding generations. The biblical wisdom literature provides that means for the Jewish community. At least it starts there and it goes from there. The Proverbs contain nuggets of truth that endure not only in the Jewish culture, but also make sense today. It contains basic wisdom on how to deal with the most common everyday issues that we face, transcending personality and culture, and simple truth that if people followed the advice of Proverbs, many of their problems would be reduced dramatically. That goes along with sometimes we bring things upon ourselves. Now, the Bible that I'm reading from is a KJV Foundation Study Bible from Thomas Nelson. So that's where, you know, some of the language there seems like it's written for people not only of faith, but mainly those of a more academic nature instead of faith. Proverb 19 says, walk in integrity. Better is the poor that walks in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good, and he that hastes with his feet sins. The foolishness of man perverts his way, and his heart frets against the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor are separated, or is separated from his neighbor. Now, a lot of these I don't fully understand myself. I enjoy some of Mark Carell's teachings, and you can go to his YouTube channel, and he has excellent teachings through the books. His Revelation study was very in-depth, especially since it deals with a lot of astronomy, and he has a minor in astronomy. So, to these, write them down, pray about them. The Holy Spirit will actually help you understand them as much as possible. This is 5. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaks lies shall not escape. Oy. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that gives gifts. They like the gifts, not so much the man. All the brethren of the poor do hate him. All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursues them with words, yet they are wanting to him. They love him when he's rich, but not so when he's poor. He that gets wisdom loves his own soul. He that keeps understanding shall find good. Definitely a verse to chew on. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaks lies shall perish. A lot of these seem to be doubles. I guess the more often and the different ways things are said, that it will click with some people more than others, so the wisdom gets in there and gets in deep into your heart. Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. Makes me think that the princes are fools. The discretion of a man defers his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. So true. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as the dew upon the grass. So wrath is death, favor is life and nourishment. A foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. Every time, a lot of times dealing with the wife, makes me think of, okay, why is she contentious? Could the husband have been doing something? Because she's supposed to be submissive to him, but what he's supposed to care for her like Christ cares for the church. So what's going on? A foolish son is the calamity of his father, yes. The foolish son didn't listen to his mother's rules and didn't listen to his father's teachings. Not good. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers. So in other words, house and riches, your father can pass on to you, the children, and go down the line. A prudent wife is from the Lord. A wise wife is from the Lord. Very true. Slothfulness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Keep on top of your business. Work hard. He that keeps the commandment keeps his own soul. Keep the rules. Keep God's commandments. It will keep you. But he that despises his ways shall die. So that again takes me back to wrath. God's wrath. Despise God's ways, you're going to end up with wrath. He that has pity upon the poor lends unto the Lord. You give to the poor, God's going to give back to you a lot more than what you gave. But do it with the right heart.
When they first saw Jesus walking on the water,
And that which he has given will he pay him again.
But listen to me carefully.
And in later readings, you'll see just how much.
He's close by.
Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. Yes, that does mean corporal punishment, but it also means teaching. It means leading by example. If it's something that is deserving of a swat on his butt, then do it. That way, the foolishness or something, he wants to avoid that which caused him to get that spanking or that corporal punishment. But even God has rules on that. A man of great wrath, an angry man, shall suffer punishment. God's not going to take kindly to that. But if you deliver him, you must do it again. He's not going to learn from the first time. You're going to have to do it over and over again. Let him learn from his mistakes. And that is counsel for all of us. The counsel of the Lord. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter end. Yes. Listen to wise counsel. Receive instruction. Don't push it off. Don't push it away. That you can be wise, and you can even pass the wisdom along. And that will also help you possibly not go through the full gamut of the school of hard knocks. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord shall stand. Very true. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. Don't worry if you have a life of want. We all want something. God's going to provide the necessities, and He'll provide wants too. But a poor man is better than a liar, and we've already talked about the poor, having to chase down people. People want to stay away from them. But a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord tends to life. Oh yes. And he that has it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. Now, you can be visited with evil to strengthen your faith, to strengthen your fear and respect of God, and to test it. Make sure you're not going to fall down like a house of cards. But it does lead to life. And the greatest life is our next life, life in heaven. But he shall not be visited with evil could also mean, and it's dealing with life after life on earth. When we die, either by natural causes, accident, even the rapture, the visiting with evil, I look at as also hell. You've got your first death, your second death. Evil makes me think of the second death and going to hell. So are you going to go to heaven or go to hell? A slothful man hides his hand in his bosom and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Oy. Doesn't take care of himself. Smite a scorner
And his focus
and the
went
simple
the
will
way
beware.
and the city.
And it could be
Back to
verbal other than a
what
slap.
he saw of the way
You're teaching the
and his
simple
focus on them, he began to sing.
that's the wrong
There's a
thing to
message
do.
in this.
And reprove one that has understanding, and he will understand knowledge.
From Almighty God, the sovereign
You can
God of
teach
the
knowledge
universe
to
who
the
loves you
simple,
eternally. Don't let your focus drift
and
from him
possibly
to
even the
virus,
scorner.
to this, to that, to people that die into the- Don't let your
But he that
focus
has
drift.
understanding will know more.
Keep your focus on Jesus. You say,
He
well, I
that
don't
wastes
feel like
his
it. I don't think
father
it's
and
like it.
chases away his mother
You're
is
gonna
a
make
son that
it.
causes
If you ever
shame
trust in
and
Jesus
brings
Christ as your
reproach.
Savior, he's gonna get you
Boy,
through this. Back
takes
to your
everything
home,
from his father,
or to
and
your
when his
heaven.
mother has need,
Either
chases
way,
her away.
you're in great condition.
He's
I know you're hurt.
basically
I
going
know
to
it's
be
easier for me to
infamous.
say that than for you to
Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causes to err from the words of knowledge.
God loves you.
In other words, quit listening to people that are sending you the wrong direction. Listen to what is good. Listen to godly knowledge and instruction and wisdom. And bury it deep in your heart. An ungodly witness scorns judgment. A false witness doesn't care about judgment. And the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. That same thing, false witness. He eats iniquity. He eats things that are wrong, sins. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the backs of fools. Now that is Proverb 19. Or should I say the chapter, Proverbs 19. Now, later on, possibly after I get my writings done, I will go on and start tomorrow's teachings. And I will try my best, since my phone decided to stop, to combine the two videos and upload them to YouTube for today. Most everything I am not going to... I'll have to learn how to do the editing of what to block out, like when I had to use a tissue. But I will see you later. I love you all. And I just remembered I should actually start